All right, I'm going to go ahead and record this today so it's all ready for tomorrow. As you can see, I've got my coffee right there and my book right there. And it's Thursday morning, but I'm going to post this on Friday. All right, so it says sort the fruit, record with circles, write how many in each group. And then we have a label. Remember, a graph always needs a label. There's always a label here for that, and sometimes labels go along the top, and you'll notice that it looks like a calendar, and our calendar at school always had a label too, and it said the days of the week. But this says the name of the fruits, and these are all fruits. This is a category called fruits, and within that category there are 3 types of fruits. All right, so it says sort the fruit. So it's important to know that fruit is the category and that these are the things within the category. All right, so we have apples. So I'm going to count them. And remember, I'm going to cross out as I count so that I count carefully and don't miss any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it says to record with circles. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to write 6 over here. Parents, we use a lot of times dots or circles or sticks or things like that to represent whatever our item is in math because we don't want to spend our time drawing apples on the graph. So this is like a bar graph. This is called a bar graph. If I were putting pictures in here, it would be called a picture graph, but I'm not putting really pictures. I'm just putting something here to represent my 6 apples. So I'm not really drawing apples. So sometimes if it says to draw fish or to draw pencils, when I'm doing math, I don't draw pencils because it's going to take me a whole long time to sit there and draw a pencil. And it's not about pencils or apples. It's about how many, because math is about numbers. So all I need to do is draw a dot or a circle or something that's in an organized way so that I can count it correctly. So I'm using circles today because that's what they told me to do. Next, it says bananas, so I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bananas. And I have to read, so it helps me to know how to read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted 8 bananas. I'm going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. And then it says oranges, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I count 4 oranges. 4 oranges here. All right, so there's my data. It's represented on a graph, so now that I can see which one has more, bananas has more, obviously, because that bar is longer. Then apples is next because their bar is a little shorter, and then oranges are the least because they have the least amount of data here. Remember, we call this data, and it's giving me numbers, and data and graphing is part of math because it gives us numbers. Now it's going to ask me if the sentence is true. Class, true is a sight word. We should know how to read that. We just practiced that yesterday in one of my groups. And it says to choose yes or no. So I cannot choose both. I need to choose one. So here it says there are more oranges than bananas. Are there more oranges? It says more oranges right here. Is that true? No, that's not true. There are not more oranges than bananas. There are fewer. Here it says there are more apples than oranges. Remember, it's important to look at what you're comparing. Here we compared oranges and bananas. Now we're comparing apples and oranges. Are there more apples than oranges? So I look at apples and I see a long line, and I look at oranges and I see a shorter line, and I'm comparing apples and oranges. So apples has more and oranges have less or fewer. Are there more apples than oranges? Yes, there are more apples than oranges. I can see the line right here. There are fewer bananas than apples. Now I'm comparing bananas and apples. So here's bananas and here's apples. And it says that there's fewer bananas. Are there fewer bananas than apples? No, there's more bananas than apples. Apples is fewer, not bananas. So there are not fewer bananas than apples. No. There are more bananas than apples. Next, it asks me how many, now this is going to be something I have to figure out, fewer oranges are there than apples? Now I'm comparing oranges and apples. So I'm going to match up my data and I'm going to see how many fewer oranges there are. So I look at apples and I look at oranges and I'm going to go like this to match. Okay, so that's not the difference. This is equal. Okay, this apple I'm going to match with that orange and this apple I'm going to match with that orange. But then there's these 2 extra apples here and there's not 2 extra bananas there. So it asked me how many fewer, not bananas, oranges. So it asked me how many fewer oranges and apples. So I just count these 2 spaces here because I would need 2 more to make that match. So there are 2 fewer. So I'm going to put 2. Right here it says how many more bananas are there than oranges. Now I'm going to compare bananas and oranges and it's going to ask me how many more. So I'm looking at the difference again. So now I'm going to match up bananas and oranges. So we've got these 2 and these 2 and those 2 and those 2. And then now my difference is different because I'm comparing something different. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. My difference is 4 now. There's 4 more bananas. There's 4 extra bananas here and there's not 4 here. I would need 4 more to make it match. And then here it says how many pieces of fruit are there. Okay, so now it's asking me about fruit, and I have to know that when they say fruit, they don't mean just the oranges, just the bananas, and just the apples. They mean all of the fruit. So now I have to count a total of all the fruit. So I have 6. Well, actually, I'm going to say 8 because it's the longest line. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I can do it that way, or I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Or I could do it that way. Or I could take these 3 numbers here and I could add them. 6 plus 8 plus 4 equals, and I can go 8. And I can draw 6 here and I can draw 4 here. I can go 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I could also know that 6 and 4 together make 10, and 10 plus 8 is 18. So there's many ways I could do that. If I have 6 plus 4 plus 8, remember I can move my add-ins around. I can know that this is 10, and then I just add this extra 8, and then I know that that's 18. So there's lots of ways that I can do that, and I can write 18. Okay, not 80, 18. And then it says pieces of fruit. So I need to write all of these words, 18. And I just copy those words, pieces of fruit. And class, you already know this, but I've told you this before. If you don't have enough line, you can make your own line. You can draw lines. Whenever you don't have lines, you can always draw your own lines. Not a problem. Problem solvers know how to solve a problem. All right, so there is your math from yesterday. I'm going to put this in our slideshow for Friday so that you can see the answers. All right, good job.